Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Insomniac After Party. Dear, my goodness. As you can tell, I haven't slept. Yeah, it's not happening, so no fighting it, no use whining about it. So I was like, I'll do what I always do. I'll go talk to the people, say hi, see how everybody's doing. I'm not going to be whining about politics or anything angry, at least not at the beginning. I'm not in a bad mood, believe it or not. Lack of sleep usually puts me in a pretty good mood. There's times it'll, put me on my last damn nerve, but I'm not there yet. Oh man, hang on, gotta take these pills. Tasty. That's my signature diet these days, is a handful of pills my doctor wants me to take. Does that count as a diet? I mean, I guess if you're trying to lose weight in the 60s and 70s, pills were the way to do it, right? But these aren't diet pills, so probably not working. I was actually thinking of happy things that I enjoy talking about, things I enjoy doing. And this time of year, there's two things I really miss. Golf. Oh God, if I was healthy by this time, I would have played many, many rounds of golf, and I would have hit thousands of balls on the driving range. Earl, thank you so much. You should get Scribe to sing you a lullaby. Scribe's voice doesn't actually put me to sleep. I appreciate the thought, but I need Lady Monkey to just come in there and hold me without touching me, because I don't like to be touched when I'm laying down. It's a weird dichotomy. Don't ask. Actually, what I usually do is she'll lay on her back, and I'll just come lay my head on her stomach for a little bit, and it just calms me down, and then I can go lay down. But it's not that. It's pain, guys, and there's no getting around that. There's no singing that gets you past that. So, a diet of pills. What are you, an actor or rock star? Limbaugh, he's a radio host. He was hooked on the drugs for a while, so I can be just one of that, right? I'm just a radio host, an old-fashioned radio host. Except for mine don't even get me high, damn it. So where's Jack? Oh, I don't think I even sent. Did I send? Wait. I don't know if I sent him the link. He's probably sleeping. Jack's usually asleep at this time of day. Yeah. Here we go. I did not do that. Did I tweet this out? Now I'm not even sure if I did that. Yeah, I did. Okay, so we can ignore that shit now. Anyway, I would have played many, many, many rounds of golf. I like golfing. And getting out there, and I drive when I golf. I can't claim it's exercise. I'm not one of those people who walks the course, because screw that. That's a lot of walking, and I'm lazy. Plus, I don't know if you've ever driven a golf cart, but oh my God, they're fun. Oh my God, you got to be careful. You can flip those things over. The stuff you see in movies where they're driving them real fast, you will flip those over pretty quick. So you do have to be careful. But yeah, they're fun to drive. I know why old people buy them to go check their mail and shit. They could walk out there. They just like the ride. They're fun. I'm telling you. I also like when you hit a golf ball just perfect, especially on a drive, man. There's this sound it makes. The sound it makes. It's a little tink. You would expect it to be a lot louder than it actually is. Most of what you hear, like if you happen to watch a golf shot on TV or something, you catch it on the nightly news and they're talking about it. Most of what you hear is the wind force of the club. The actual hit of the golf ball is really a silent sound if you hit it just right. Dink. And then that fucker just goes for miles and miles and miles. And then you spend the rest of the day chasing that same shot. Now the professionals, they've got it down to an art. They can do it like every time, and well, fuck them. But me, I maybe get 2 or 3 perfect drives each time. I'm pretty good at driving. The short game needs some work. Needs a lot of work. I always underestimate my putts too. I'm afraid to hit the ball too far because then you got to deal with it from the other side, and it's not the same kind of shot. It's just a pain in the ass. But this time of year makes me miss golf. The other thing I really miss, amusement parks, which, I mean, I could still go to. I wouldn't be very good there for very long. I'd actually have to ride in a riding cart. I'd need a golf cart to go. But I miss amusement parks. I was like, what is it about them that I like so much? And yeah, there's the rides, and that's fun and stuff. But then it hit me. It's one of the first real tastes of freedom I got. Mom wasn't like super overbearing. We were allowed to go around the neighborhood and stuff, but we still, like told you guys before, Mom had spies everywhere. You'd get in trouble quick. Even like, how'd you even know we did that? There's still one incident I do not know how my mother found out about. We were feeding Alka-Seltzer to birds. Don't worry, none of them blew up. That's why I still don't believe that's true. We're feeding Alka-Seltzer to birds. There's nobody around. Mom's not even home. None of the neighbors are home. I don't know where the hell they all went. But she comes back and we got in trouble. I'm like, how did you even know that? I still don't know to this day. The other place that we got some freedom, where it really felt like freedom, was the mall. In both the mall and the amusement park, we were pretty much turned loose. Like, go play, go do stuff. Don't get into any trouble. Meet us back here at this time. As long as we didn't do anything, got us in trouble, we were allowed to just go hang out. You know, it was a little bit of just freedom, man. But the amusement park, that was a whole different freedom. We went several times as a family, but the ones that I really remember and really liked were the ones I went with my school, because that was your real freedom. They'd send you with like 5 chaperones and then once you got to the park, they would just turn you loose and they would not give a fuck about you again until lunchtime. And then at lunchtime, y'all had to meet back at whatever the designated area was. And then they wouldn't give a fuck about you again until it was time to go to the bus. So we just had free reign over miles and miles of park, man. And this is right around, the age where you're talking 11, 12, 13, just getting into girls and stuff. So you could go with your little girlfriend and get a little smooch, a little peck kiss when nobody's looking. Go ride the roller coasters and prove how manly you are to the world at 13, It was cool, man. And it was just, I remember this one time on a band trip. No, I wasn't in band. Let's see. I went, what was it? Our middle school. There was a trip once a year for the oldest level of kids. And so they all always got to go. And then I went one time with my friend's church. That was even more fun because I don't think the chaperones even stayed at the park. I think they left and just picked us up later, which was even more fun. Pincalo, thank you. The bus forgot me in kindergarten. Holy damn. That's fucked up. That's had to mess you up for life, man. That had to just mess you up. But thank you for the donation. You can't forget kids. I liked the freedom of it. And it was the first real taste. It was the first time we were treated like adults because our parents would give us some money, a little bit of spending money, and we were on our own. That was a weird feeling because, like I said, my mom wasn't exactly overbearing, but there was no sense of freedom there, unless we went to the mall and then we got turned loose. And God help you if you were a pretty young girl in our age group, because we would follow you around and never talk to you. We just follow you around and look. Yeah, I miss amusement parks. I like the smell of amusement parks. It's not the same at a fair. The closest amusement park to me is a small park called Michigan's Adventure, which is actually a nice park, especially for what it is. You would, I kind of worry about the roller coasters because they have more stuff than they should for the size of that park. Like, you guys built that out of some questionable materials, didn't you? But yeah, it's a nice enough park, but it doesn't have like a really good food court area. So there's not that food smell. And fairs don't have that same thing. If you walk on a fairway, it just smells like grease. It smells like fried whatever, because everything is fried. And they've started adding everything that they could to fry, you know, Snickers bars, butter. You know, why are Americans fat? I don't know. Let's go to the fair. But the my favorite place for the smell, you got to go to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and you go to the Italian area. And as soon as they have different areas, you know, you got the German, Italian, English. What else do they have there? Is that the only ones? Oh, there's no, that's the Italian one. I'm trying to remember what all they have there. But they have those ones. You go to the Italian area. As soon as you step foot into it, it's just like, oh God, I'm home. Just the scent of bread and pasta and sauce. And it's just like, it's all there mixing. And then you ride rides while you smell that. It's great. I miss the Orange County Fair funnel cake. Our local fairs all have, man, you can get any kind of fucking fried food you want. They'll fry bread for you. Yeah, I'm not as big a fan of fairs. Plus, all of the fairs around are agricultural fairs. So they have some rides, and they have the midway where they'll rip you off on their little games. And the rest of it is just stinky ass animals. I don't care about stinky ass animals. Really don't. The scent of marijuana unsmoked buds is just amazing. Or unsmoked just the buds is amazing. I am not a fan of any of the smells that marijuana produces. I think they all stink like hell. No offense. We like what we like, right? We all like what we like. I'm considering taking a week off, guys. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it. The family is going to Virginia. I might take a week off. I haven't decided. I really miss the water. I miss the water a lot. And the water in Michigan's not the same, you know. Everywhere around here is so cold. So cold. Even in the dead of summer, man, you get a 90-degree spurt, and you go to Lake Michigan, you stick your toe in, and your balls immediately jump up into your throat. She's like, no, we're going to be frozen all the time. You even go to some of the smaller lakes, and oh my God, do they have ice machines at the bottom of these fucking things? Why are they always so cold? StreamYard says mobile live streaming. I don't mobile live stream, so take it off, man. I'm serious. Watch your fans come back in droves. Did I lose fans? Are you guys not watching me because I haven't taken a week off? Because of streams like this, I don't need weed anymore. Oh, cool. I'm a rehabilitator. Awesome. No, I'm not sure. The reason I'm not sure if I'm going to take the vacation, I would love to go. I really, really, really want to go. But that's a 24-hour trip in a car. I get fucked up from an hour-long trip in a car. Can't imagine what a day would do. What a whole day would do. I'm fighting with myself on this one, you know. Justin says, yeah, my family took a family trip without me this week. I'm all alone right now. It sucks ass. Lady Monkey has taken, it's either 2 or 3 trips since this has happened, down to see her dad, and I haven't gone on any of them. Haven't gone on any of them because the idea of being in a car that long scares me, man. Hey, Bloodwing, how you doing? Do I ever sleep? No. I wish I did. I'm having a rough one, man, because I didn't sleep very much. I slept 4 hours yesterday, and I was really tired when I went to bed yesterday. I woke up at about noon. So what are we at, 19 hours on 4 hours of sleep? It's going to catch up to me soon. I'll be talking just pure gibberish here in about an hour. And I don't mean my normal not being able to read article stuff, just like I'll try to say words and they'll go, it's not a family trip if you don't go. Suck it up, Buttercup. That's easy to say, man. That's easy to say. The idea of spending at least 2 days in just absolute horrific pain when we first get there, and then another 2 when we get back, and that's if it goes nice. You guys don't understand how much cars move you, man. I don't think you feel like it's nice and relaxed. You know, this is a smooth ride. Even in Michigan, sometimes you can get a smooth ride. But that ain't what your body's really feeling, man. That is not what it really feels. Izan had a cameo from Arix. Arix is with an E, by the way. Did she stop by his stream? It's literally like they just removed a flag and put up their own to show they took over the fort. What? Commies hate me as Justin Richardson. That statue had no significance, you ass. Its entire purpose was, despite what was just removed, it was a sign of communist. What are we talking about here? Breaking, please help Alamo Golf citizen. What is that? I'm not familiar. 40 hours ago, last seen. Oh. There's a missing young lady. Last seen, what is that, 21 hours ago? She was last seen Tuesday leaving her home in a red Saturn coupe. The car has lower front end damage. I do not have a tag number at this time. Did they find the car and it had damage when they found it, or did oh, I've seen that girl's face going around. Yeah, I saw her. I hope they find her. I hope she's okay. I hope it's just a case of met somebody on the internet and ran to find them and realizes how stupid that is and comes home. Now, I'm not saying it's always stupid to meet up with people you meet on the internet. That's not it. But I see way too many of these young girls on the internet, especially in the 14, 15 range, that run off to meet some weird adult they were talking to online. Luckily, most of them are found and returned, so I hope I sincerely hope that's the case here and that she's returned. Manila Bob, thank you so much. Finally getting back to work. Still have insomnia. Thanks for helping us pass the night. Thank you for the donation and for watching, man. Seriously. Bigfoot got her. Stop it. Arix was on one of the streams with some other girl. Yeah, Arix was being talked about on one of the streams. I watched a little bit earlier. Bloodwing said, I feel your pain, 30 minutes of car, and I'm done in for hours. Oh, man. When we go down to my doctor, man, by the time I get back here, it's like, I need a fucking doctor, man. Again, sorry I slept myself. Could have worded it better. What happened, Rich? I feel like I'm missing stuff all over my own chat here, and I'm actually paying attention for a change. What happened? That's how ISIS gets. Well, that's true too, Chris. Yeah. My best friend from high school, his 15-year-old sister was murdered and left in an abandoned military bunker in California with her boyfriend. Jesus Christ, man. That's horrible. That's horrible. Hope they found the bastard that did it and put a bullet in him somewhere. But no, as I was saying, most of the time that I've seen these, it's usually some young girl, and I didn't pay attention to her age. I really should have. But some young girl who's like, I'm going to go be with my boyfriend. We had some family squabble about it. And yeah, they run off because they think Mr. Right, who's usually a fucking loser druggie, is going to take care of all their problems they have at home because mom wants them to do their schoolwork. So what you're saying is Monkey can read. Yes, I can read. How dare you? The guy said, I just wants to kill people. Oh, wow. Yeah. Just put him down. That's all this need. Oh, did you guys see that? That we've started remember, I said we weren't going to do heavy stuff at the beginning. The beginning's over. We're 21 minutes into this, so this brings it up. We've started executing federal prisoners again. The first one, he really had no chance at appeal. The second one, I'm actually surprised didn't get appealed. And the Supreme Court was the dissenters on the Supreme Court were mad. They claim he has Alzheimer's. And the Supreme Court went, fuck it. Take him out. Yeah, their proof that he has Alzheimer's is he sometimes forgets the details of the case. Monk can read, he just can't talk. I can't talk and read. I can read, I can talk. I cannot talk and read. It has never been my fort. It's forte. It's really not. It's fort. Even going back to school, I hated reading in front of the class. Because I would trip all the time. I have trouble reading out loud. I can speak fine. I've got no problem speaking in front of people even. It's one of the things that if you're ever in management, you need to be able to do because they're going to make you do it at times. But yeah, when I got into high school, that was when I had my coming out of my shell party was high school. I was like, fuck it. I'm not being shy no more. And I would start doing, I would raise my hand. Who's going first for this? I'll do it. Jump right up there in front of everybody and just talk. And as long as I wasn't having to read something. Now, if I had to read something, fuck no. Not unless I wrote it myself and I knew what it said. I do not like reading in front of people. It has taken me a long time to be able to do this. I got an interview with UPS, but they want me to install a Zoom app. I don't trust China. China is asshole. Should I do it or find another way? I don't know what Zoom is. Zoom is the what is that? The teleconferencing thing, right? That's the teleconferencing. Why would they make you install Zoom? That's weird. How badly do you need a job, man? And could you do it with like a prepaid phone instead of using your main one? Look, there were times in my life if they said install the China app, I'd be like, all right, I need a job. I need a job, motherfucker. So yeah, I don't know. Pink Alice says it doesn't matter. All social media apps are spyware. Perhaps, but they're not all Chinese spyware. That's a little bit different. Am I bad for saying let the statues be up, even the BLM? Are you talking about that statue that was put up in England that was torn down after a day? That's where that was put up, right? In London? I don't know. Didn't they rip down some other statue and then they put that stupid shit up? It's kind of weird to say that you should leave a statue up that was a replacement that somebody had torn out, you know? I'm just, spitballing here. Are you wrong for saying it? I disagree with you for saying it. How about that? I don't think you're necessarily wrong. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, of course. But I think celebrating this would probably give me a fascistic communist fucking movement, celebrating that with a statue as you tore down people who were doing things hundreds of years ago that you're now deciding we can't celebrate that at all. We can't celebrate that at all. I was reading history stuff tonight, guys. I got off the stream earlier, turned on Hamilton, as I do, and I was just listening to some of it, and there's some of these figures I've never heard of, like John Lawrence. I'd never heard his name, so I looked him up, and then I just started reading all kind. I went down a revolutionary rabbit hole. All data breaches are actually fire sale cover-ups. Thank you, Pinkalo. Again, there's a difference between them giving your information to somebody who's going to try to sell you a bicycle and China getting it. Just saying, there's a difference there. I do not trust China. What's a Hamilton? It's a play. You should check it out. It's really good. Yeah, so I was reading about all kinds of them, and I was reading this thing about George Washington, because the guy who plays Washington in this play, oh my God, he has such a commanding presence on stage. Nobody else could have played George Washington. You look at all the other cast members, and you're like, none of them can do it. This guy has to be Washington. He doesn't look anything like him. He's kind of built like him. Washington was a big man. Very impressive stature. And nobody else could play this guy. And I'm reading about Washington stuff and reading about the number of slaves and stuff he had, and how he had acquired more slaves throughout his lifetime. So for anybody like, they weren't allowed to sell their slaves or get rid of their slaves, he could have got rid of his, and he didn't. He actually acquired more. I still don't think that's worthy of desecrating his statues or his name, Different times. Yeah, China going to try and sell you a cheap knockoff bicycle. No, Bloodwing. They're going to... I don't know what those dirty assholes are up to. I just don't trust China at all. At all. I don't think we need to be tearing down any of our history. And I didn't read all of Washington's final address, his farewell address. But I was reading parts of it. And reading about the infighting and stuff that went on, because our founding fathers, I mentioned this the other day, they hated each other. Many of them hated each other to the point of a shooting. Fuck. But Washington saw what was going to happen. Washington saw what's happening right now. And he was worried it was going to happen. And it would divide the country, and it would tear us apart. Just the pure partisan bickering. I think it's okay to have differing sides. I do. But I got to say, I kind of agree with Washington that political parties are a bad idea. Adams and Jefferson, I believe, couldn't be in the same room. Reportedly until they retired. Apparently, after they each left, they were kind of like Rocky and Apollo. After they weren't fighting each other anymore, they kind of became friends until, they died on the same day. They didn't kill each other, though. That was cool. No, looking at these men and diminishing what they did because of asshole communist shitbags who are running around now who have no concept of history or idea of their place in it. Many of whom I believe are unwitting participants. They're willing. They're just not very smart. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. The forefathers also banged slaves. True. I mean, it was known at the time. The Sally, what's her name? Sally Henning. Shit, I always forget her name. The one that Jefferson boned and made kids with. That was known at the time. Those stories were already out. These men weren't perfect, but what they built was pretty damn nice. Yeah, Polly, Washington did not join a party. He did not think it was a good idea. He thought it was bad for America. Yeah. Not a fan. And I got to say, the older I get, the more I think he's right. Especially the more we see the absolute polarization, which, I mean, it's not the first time that's happened in our country's history. You think we would learn from our own fucking history, but we won't do that either, will we? Oh, man. Yeah. It was kind of fun just going back and refreshing things that I knew. I was reading about Benedict Arnold, too. I didn't even know. There's a statue of Benedict Arnold. I forget where it's at. What's it called? The Boot? It doesn't name him specifically, but it gives him credit for a really smart move that he pulled off that helped change the tide of a battle, without mentioning, because, Benedict Arnold was a shitbag. And I've realized that's why I don't like people named Benedict or people named Arnold. That was put in my head when I was young. They teach you about Washington was not a Federalist. He may have had Federalist leanings, but he was never in a party. And he specifically made sure that he wasn't taking a certain party's side. Tearing down monuments to Central will do much to repeat history. I don't know whether it'll do much to repeat history tearing down statues. I just think it's an utter disrespect to the men who came before us and who did these things. There's no credit given for what they did. We've gone from perhaps being too praising them too much to absolutely vilifying them. And that's not a good way to go, because what they did was important. It was important. It's why we're here. It's why the world's where it's at, for fuck's sake. I mean, an upstart colony said "fuck you" to a superpower, and not only beat them, but made it work. Became the superpower in the world in less than 250 years. Fuck it, in less than 200 years, really. That's an amazing feat. That is not something that happens very often. Saw something really stupid, you guys. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has a new program she's preaching. Now listen, I have to remind you guys that she's not in state politics, you guys. She's not in the state politics. When Amazon went away, that wasn't because of her. She does federal stuff. But she wants Governor Cuomo to embrace this, I forgot what they call it. But it's a program to give money to people who were passed don't qualify for unemployment because they're illegals. It's mostly illegals. There are a few other people who don't qualify for various reasons, but mostly illegals. And so here's what they want to do. They want to tax the wealth of billionaires at about 10% of whatever the market value is when the tax comes due. You can pay this in monthly installments of 10 installments. So not exactly monthly, spread out a little bit more. About every 35 days or so. But there's a penalty if you do it that way. Was it 6.5%, I believe is what it was? This is going to raise 5.3, 5.8 billion dollars, something like that, because there's over 118 billionaires in New York. 118, you guys. And since coronavirus started, they've added $535 billion to their worth. They've added that to it. They just took it from other people and put it in their own pockets. 500 billion, you guys. Which, if you do the math, comes out to about 5 billion each. And they're going to put a tax that's going to raise $5 billion. Interesting. I don't know how they do this or how they come up with their numbers, but this money is going to be used to give money to poor people. And it's going to be done with what the program itself describes as flexible rules for people to get it. See, I wish I was making this up. You won't have to show actual documentation. It can be questionable documentation to prove you need the money. That's the part that really jumped out at me. I'm not surprised that they want a wealth tax. New York, you'll probably get one, and that 118 billionaires will probably go down to zero, as it's very easy to move your home address. And they'll move to some state that doesn't have New York's taxes and is not taking 10% of their capital gains each year. They call it what? Mark to market is what the scheme is called. Yeah, they're going to tax the shit out of it. And we've discussed this so many times. Billionaires are not sitting around with $1 billion in the bank. They're not sitting around. Jeff Bezos probably doesn't have $5 billion on hand. He's not that liquid. So what he'd have to do is sell enough Amazon stock to get whatever he's made. So let's say he's made $100 billion. He would have to end up paying $1 billion. I'm not sure exactly how their math works, because they say it's going to bring in $5 billion a year, but using their own numbers, that's 10% of what they're getting, or 10% of what they said billionaires have made since COVID had started. So I'm not sure how their math works, but it looks like 5% or 10%, or wait, 5%. Sorry. No, 1%. 1%. That's the one. That's the number I'm looking for. So if he made $100 million, you'd have to pay $1 billion, which means he would have to sell $1 billion worth of Amazon stock. You know what that would do to the price of the stock? It would tank it, which means he'd have to sell even more Amazon stock, because it wouldn't. He goes in to sell $1 billion, and the orders start going out, and the price starts going down. Like, shit, I need more and more and more. And he'd probably end up, instead of 1% of whatever it is, the actual stock at what it was worth at the time, because that's the important part. The market value at the time. Doesn't matter if it fluctuates before you can pay it. So you're going to crash all of these different fucking stocks to pay for illegals to not even have to prove that they deserve the money. And there's a much easier solution. Because there's actually a video that she helped make. 30 million people have been unemployed because of COVID-19. Were they unemployed because of COVID-19, or were they unemployed because of our response to COVID-19? Because those are two different things, my dear. Two different things. If they were unemployed because of COVID, that would probably mean they got sick and lost their job, which didn't happen. Their job wasn't allowed to employ them anymore. And the people she's talking about, they didn't have jobs. They sold meat on a corner somewhere. They picked fruit under the table in upstate New York. They these aren't people who have jobs. If they anyway, there are some, I need to clarify, because there were some people here on work visas and stuff who weren't allowed to get the money. So not all, hashtag not all. A lot of them are legal. Oddly, there's some who only speak in Spanish in the video. I'm not saying that means anything. I'm just going to throw that out there for you guys to let percolate in your brain. Hard to believe a woman who, sorry, I haven't been paying attention, chat. This is one of those times I started talking and I'm staring at my fan right now. Hard to believe a woman who studied economics doesn't know how economics work. Look, man. I forget who it is on Twitter, but they keep saying she is proof that the economics degree at a Boston University is not worth the paper it's written on, because she don't know what the fuck she's talking about. She's a commie. This is a commie plan. You're going out there to take people's money, and here's the justification, guys. You ready for it? You ready for it? Because they have the money to do it. That's why. They have the money. We should take it. What an absolutely American idea. Fuck. I'm glad I don't live in New York. I feel bad for the people who do. The number of billionaires is 118. If this gets passed, I wonder how long it takes for that to cut in half. Because there's states all around them that don't have this ridiculous wealth tax that they could easily move to. Like, fuck it. I'm selling my apartment in Manhattan. I'm gonna go live in Connecticut. I'm gonna go live. I'll go live in Texas where everybody else lives now. Take my money down there and have it taxed normally. Taxing wealth. One of there was another provision in there. Oh my God, I forgot about this part. Part of your wealth that they're going to tax is any money you gave to charity. I want to say that again. There's not a provision taking money out of giving, if you gave to charity. No. It's not like, okay, I gave $100 million to charity, so now my $1 billion tax bill is only going to be on 900. No. That gets taxed too. Yeah. Now, it's entirely possible I read that part wrong. I haven't slept in a while. The sleep I did get was broken and painful. But I read that part a few times to make sure I was reading it right. And as far as I can tell, they're going to tax charitable contributions as well. They're going to tax all of it. Every dime you are worth whenever that tax comes due. So if it comes due on April 15th, whatever you're worth at that day, according to them, at fair market value, because they're going to be taxing your home, which you're already taxed for. They're going to be taxing any luxury items you have, a boat, paintings, whatever. They're going to be taxing those. Stocks, bonds, any real estate that you own that you're not living in as well, any investment properties, all of that shit goes into this tax. Everything you own goes into this tax. It's not just on the money that's been made since COVID. They tell you how much money has been made since COVID, but they're not just taxing that. All of the wealth. Doesn't take long for that to siphon off, 1% might not sound like a lot, but it starts to add up. Fucking idiots. Until all the billionaires move away. I just love how they said it. 118. How many people live in New York? Isn't it like 20 million people or something in New York City? Like 20 million people? More than some states? And it's like, oh, there are 118. Actually, it sounds kind of low for the size of your city. given that it's the financial hub of America. I would actually imagine. Oh, it's only 8 million. I'm sorry, 8 million. I would figure it'd be a little bit higher, just a little bit. But that's just me. That's just me. Oh man, I think I offended somebody yesterday. But guys, there's times you're going to disagree with me, and that's all right. And there's times I'm happy to argue with you about it. And there's times you can send me information about it to show me why you believe what you believe. But I'm not stupid. Believe it or not, I do read quite a bit. There's a good chance if you've seen something, I've seen it. Now, that's not to say I'm the smartest man ever. But if I'm talking about a subject, chances are I've seen quite a bit about it. I think I offended somebody over that. Oops. Sometimes it's been my one of my problems my whole life. I just can't keep my fucking mouth shut. Can't keep my fucking mouth shut. I look back over my life and the things I could have done. The only thing I did right was snatching up Lady Monkey. It's the only thing I did right. Everything else I can point to and go, I should have kept my mouth closed right there. I can point to a lot of those situations. I've just never been able to do it. This goes all the way back to, early childhood. I was constantly in trouble for being disrespectful. I wasn't being disrespectful. I just couldn't keep my fucking mouth shut when I thought somebody was wrong. Oh, hey, Nuts, how you doing? Yeah. It's a point of both pride and I don't want to say shame, but I'm happy to be the one who's willing to speak up, I often take one for the team because nobody else wanted to say it and it still needed said kind of thing. But it's been a barrier. Let's call it that. I'm not ashamed of it, but it's a barrier. It's a barrier. So I warn people, got it. Time and place. That's wisdom speaking right there. It's the same way I know you should never throw a golf club, especially not straight down at the ground. It's not that I'm a brilliant man. It's that I've made mistakes in my life. Oh, gosh, the golf. God damn it. And I had to do that in front of Lady Monkey, too. Threw my golf club. I was mad because I had 3, 4, can't even remember how many tee shots I hit straight off to the left into the woods. And I was like, fuck. So I line up for the shot, hit it, catch it on the heel again, straight into the woods. Take my club above my hand or my head, slam it down on the ground in front of me. Well, it's got a graphite shaft on it. And the head of the club just stuck. And the club itself just kind of tensed up a little bit and then sprung backwards towards me and hit me right in the nuts. Right in the nuts. That was a bad one. That one hurt for a while, too. I played a lot better after that. That was one of the problems. Do fish get thirsty? Thank you, Mighty Balzac. I would imagine not. I'd imagine they have enough water. Maybe saltwater fish. I don't know if they can drink it if it doesn't have salt in it. Anyway. Yeah, it was the first time Lady Monkey had gone golfing with me. And I, as always, I wanted to impress her because that's what I do. And the more you think about things like that, especially when you're golfing, the more you're going to fuck up. And so when I fucked up at first, it just got in my mind. It was in my mind. And it was like, fuck. But that springing back and hitting me in the nuts, man, that made me calm right down. I hit my next tee shot. It went where I wanted it to. Don't worry, guys. I took the right score from that one. That was an ugly hole. I don't cheat at golf. I go by the actual rules. Don't cheat at pool either. I play by the actual rules. Excuse me. In golf, I can get good distance but shit direction, or perfect direction but shit distance. Never both. It's better to have perfect direction and shit distance. Well, at least you hit 2 good balls, right? Yeah. That was Scribe, for fuck's sake, got to sleep. What? The Scribble's here? Again, I'm sorry I do this, especially on the nights where I'm alone, man. I end up talking. I'm talking to you guys, but I'm talking to myself out loud. You guys are actually hearing what goes on in my brain just constantly. My brain never shuts the fuck up. It's actually a little bit disconcerting at times. It's why I like watching shows that I've already seen. It's another reason I do that. Do pilots take crash courses? Thank you, Mighty Balzac. Probably. I'm guessing so. How good they are at them, I couldn't tell you. Trying to impress someone usually turns out badly. At least it does for me, and the people I know have tried it. I've done very impressive things with Lady Monkey around. At least I think so. When I go to do something, it works out most of the time. It's just not, it won't work if it's something that's in your head, man. It's got to be something that you can just do. Luckily, I'm a talented man. You know, yeah. Be over here bragging on myself. Have you been up all night watching protest streams? No. I've just been up all night. I was reading quite a bit. Listen, I'd never even played a video game. I was thinking, I should do a game stream, and I don't know if I could concentrate on the game right now. And you guys have seen me play, so if I think I might have trouble playing a game with as badly as I already play, imagine what that would look like. Hey, watch this, the last words of many. I'm a goofy. One of the things that'll help you in that situation. You can't care if you fuck up. You can't. If you're really trying for the impression, you have to also have that side of you that can make a scene out of it and make it funny and enjoy your own fuck up. Unless you like break your leg or something. So it's hard to look cool with a femur sticking out. I've never tried it myself, but it's never looked good on anyone I've seen do it. Not really a costume you want to wear most of the time. Every time I've awakened in the last 12 hours, you've been streaming. Sorry about your deprivation, but it's good to have you. That's very kind of you to say, Chad. My voice is going again. Oh, I hate it when it sounds like this. I don't know what it sounds like to you guys, but it just sounds wrong in my head. And I want the voices in my head to be mine. They're always mine. Do you guys hear, when you hear voices in your head, not voices in your head, not you're crazy, but like if you're thinking about a conversation that you had with somebody, do you hear their voice or is the whole thing in your voice? Because I always hear it just in my voice. I don't know if that's normal or not. I don't know how insane I am is what I'm getting at. I don't know how egotistical I am. Help me out here, guys. Do you hear it in your voice or theirs? Now, if I'm dreaming, I'll hear their voice, but not if I'm just thinking about it. Okay, maybe I'm a little conceited. The first time I was actually called conceited, I've been called egotistical and conceited my whole life, long before I knew what the word meant. But the first time I remember being called it where I thought the person was being serious, and I don't know if the other people were or not. They may have been, because I've been looking back, I've been conceited my whole life. Was my sister, because I told her that in my head, when people leave the room, or if I leave the room, everything else stops. Everything else stops. Live action is only going on where I'm actually at. And I think it comes from, watching TV. Because you only see what's going on with whoever's on the screen, And I think that got twisted in my brain so that, I was only like 10 at the time, so it cut me a little bit of slack. But I'm like, that's just how my brain processes it. It's nobody, once I leave, nobody else is doing anything. And she looked at me and said, "You are the most conceited person I've ever met." And I'm like, I am not. I mean, if you're going to be the conceited, you might as well be the most conceited, right? Might as well be the best at it. You don't want to be the worst conceited person ever. It's no way to be conceited at all. Hard to be humble. Oh, Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I love that song. No kidding. As a child, they deemed that my theme song. I think it was like 9 when that happened. Maybe 8. I was young. I've been this. Have you guys changed a whole lot during your lives? I'm 45 years old now. And as I sit back and look, physically I've changed, sure. I've had kids. I don't know. There's obvious changes in me, but when I think of me, other than becoming a little more outgoing, I haven't really changed. I haven't changed all that much. When people go, everyone was stupid at 20. I look back at my 20s and I'm like, I probably was. But most of the beliefs I hold now are beliefs I held then. Like, do I need to change? And I sit here and think, and like, okay, let's go through some of my positions I hold. And I argue with myself, but okay, am I right? I'm like, yep, I'm still right. So I don't know. I don't know if it's if I should do more self-reflection or less. I once had a teacher say I lack comprehension skills. It didn't bother me because I didn't really know what it meant. Nice. Well played, sir. Well played indeed. Always Lost says, I don't change for anybody. Mighty Balzac, thank you. Why is it called tourist season if you can't shoot them? I think you're thinking the wrong kind of season. Just throwing that out there. I feel like I've changed immensely, says Purple Pill. I don't know. Blood says I'm pretty much the same person I've been for 60 years with a few slight changes. Yeah, I've calmed a lot in my older age. I don't have to fight every battle anymore. Fighting is a young man's game. I'll still do it because it's fun, but God, I'd have been kicked off of Twitter long ago if I was still in my 20s. Yeah, I'd have been kicked off every platform long ago if I was still in my 20s. So maybe in that ring. Professional growth. I went from professional asshole to sarcastic asshole, and currently an old sage asshole. Gotcha. I get it. So I've mostly just calmed. Pretty sure there's only one season at Monk's house. Fall. I see what you did there. Yeah, I was nervous walking down the stairs the other night because it hit me. I haven't fallen down the stairs in a long time. I was like, shit. Every time I think that, I end up falling down the fucking stairs. I'm only 27, but I'm a completely different person than I was 7 years ago. Now, with anybody who says they're like they've had major changes, is it because of like how you were brought up? Because I know there's a lot of people who, like, say you come from a really conservative home, you're either going to buck your parents pretty hard or embrace their values by the time you're like 18 or 19. And then a decade later, you may have flopped no matter which way you came out. You might be like, oh, I was wrong about all that. And I understand that. My parents were very liberal. And I've never been. It's never made sense to me. I caught a live monkey. You should keep it in a cage, make sure you feed it, and change the paper. Body degrades a bit, and mind more forgetful. Oh, man, my forgetful brain. Oh. I do wonder, guys, because all of my memory problems started with this medicine, with the gabapentin. But I wonder if it was a coincidence, like my brain is actually just going and it wasn't that at all. I've thought about doing a stream because of that. There was a movie, I can't remember what it was called, but I want to say it started Michael Keaton back in the 90s, maybe, where he's dying. So he records a video for his daughter so she can watch it after he's gone. And I'm not being that melodramatic here, but I've thought about doing something like that for my grandchildren or my great-grandchildren, whoever comes next. We have the ability right now, no matter who you are, to leave an imprint for your future generations in a way we've never been able to before. Kingslayer, thank you. I essentially went from a blue dog to hard right. You know, that's not a huge change. Well, it is, but not. If you'd said you went from being a strong liberal to hard right, that's a much bigger change. Blue dogs tend to have some conservative values, so I can see that. How long did it take, if you don't mind me asking? Thank you for the donation. You don't have to donate again, but how long did it take for that change to occur, if you don't mind me asking? The movie was My Life, had Nicole Kidman in it. Whoops, shit, I just kicked my mic. So I'm putting my foot up on my desk. Was I right about Michael Keaton? Was that him? But no, I've thought about doing just a stream where I ignore you guys altogether and just talk to future generations of my own family. Because eventually, you know, unless they cure death, God willing, I'll be gone one day. And I have an ability to leave. I mean, I've already done it. I've left a fucking shit ton of streams for them to be able to go watch and stuff. But just one addressing them specifically, you know, things your grandpa or your great grandpa or even your great great grandpa thought and what led him where he's at, you know. About 4.5 years. Wow. Yeah, that's but I think when you go on a change like that, whether you're going from liberal to conservative or conservative to liberal, either way, I feel like that's a pretty quick process from what I've seen. It seems like people they'll grab onto something and that starts them down the path, you know. And once you're down that path, it's just a little nudging here and there, and then suddenly I'm on this path now. Not saying it's right or wrong, but that movie made me cry like a little schoolgirl. James, I don't think I've actually seen the whole thing. I remember watching a little bit of it, but they have plenty of streams of randomness to listen back to. They do. They really do. But I like I say, one just for them. One that's just for them to hear Grandpa's voice and what he thinks, and not necessarily, you know, political, but interesting stories that I think they need to know about my mom, my dad, people they'll never meet, you know. Because like Little Butt got to meet my dad, but she's the only one of my grandchildren who did, and she doesn't remember him. She was so young back then. There's a picture of me, my dad, and my daughter. And I think it's my daughter who's holding. Actually, I think it's my dad who's holding Little Butt. It was from her second birthday party, I think. And every time Little Butt looks at it, she kind of side eyes my dad a little bit because she recognizes me and her mom. She's not really sure who that guy is. Yeah, so it's just one of those things. Well, Monks, you might do it offline so you can use the real names. No, I mean, not really. I use my real name, and I don't really, I mean, I'm thinking if it's really necessary, you know. I don't know. There's a really cool project called StoryCorps. You need to check it out. I will try to remember to take a look, but you know I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna remember. It's tough, man. Look, I told Lady Monkey about that video from last night. Piccolo, thank you. Your grandkids in 10 years, Grandpa was a Nazi. Probably not. Probably not. They seem to love Grandpa a lot. No, I told Lady Monkey about the video of that guy who went to see the 20-year-old who got his daughter's heart, and even telling her about it, man, I started welling up. I went and watched the full video of that. Oh man, it's just like damn. And when he puts the stethoscope to the guy's heart so he can hear his daughter, and you just see him start to break down. And the kid puts his hand up on his shoulder, and it's just like, humanity's not completely doomed. There's still goodness in the world, you know. I started talking politics at 16 to 18. I was blue dog. The transition was right was between 18 and 23. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I started talking politics mostly to annoy my older brother. This goes back to when I was 12 or so. He got really into politics. I'd probably hate him right now. I'd probably hate his politics. I'd probably punch him in the face for it. But he got really into politics, and I would just fuck with him about it. I didn't know what the fuck I was even saying. I didn't know who these people were. Maybe I knew the name in passing, but I knew nothing about him. But it was just so easy to get him riled up. Because again, we were raised in a liberal household, so he was liberal like my parents. And just one day to piss him off, he starts talking about something. It might have been, good presidents or something like that. And I just told him I thought Nixon was great. He's like, what? Yeah, he was a good guy. I think he got railroaded. He's like, what? Because you're just being stupid. I'm like, no, look at it. He got railroaded. I think what happened to him was a shame. I didn't know what actually happened in that. I was 12. How much information do you think I had on fucking Watergate? But it was just to fuck with him. And then after he died, I took up an interest in history. So I started, paying more attention and paying attention to the stuff going on in the world around me. Of course, there are liberals in my family. They're brain damaged. My family's almost all liberal. I am the black sheep. I will give them credit, though. They tolerate me well. My parents were classic lib. Dad was from the South. I was always conservative. I don't know where I got this bent. I really don't. Mom and dad, they weren't like, dad wasn't very open with his politics until later in life. He would talk about it a little bit. Mom, very open about her beliefs. And there's part of that I still believe in, but I don't see it as liberal anymore. That's for sure. But she was very anti-racist. I've mentioned that many times. And her boys were not going to be racist. And I appreciate that. I appreciate that she raised me that way. I do wonder what she would say about liberals today who are encouraging racism, Our relations are socialist leaning. Oh, damn. My family is liberal and separatist. Wow. That's his family's mostly conservative. Yeah, all kinds to make up this world, right? My dad I'd see him and he'd start preaching me the virtues of Barack Obama. And like, Dad, don't start. And he'd keep going like, all right. And I'd just rip into Obama with what a shitbag he is. What a horrible man he was. I mean, he was our president, so I have that respect for him, but a lot of what he did was really, really shitty and very possibly criminal, especially going into the Trump administration. That shit they pulled there, the Obamagate stuff that no press wants to talk about. The only time they talked about it was to go, they're calling it Obamagate, and we don't think it's really a thing. The only reason there was no scandals is because you shitbags didn't do your jobs. The importance of our free press, y'all didn't do it back under him. He didn't care at all. If Trump pulled half the shit that Obama did, he'd have been impeached twice by now, at least. And the press would never stop writing stories about him. Ever. Like they wouldn't even sleep. They'd sleep less than I do just so they could write another story about them. My parents and I have very similar politics, big on personal accountability and usually leaving people the fuck alone. Yeah, my parents were more of a we need to take care of people kind of thing. Which, I mean, sure, safety net, not a safety hammock, motherfuckers. Except for in New York, y'all. Oh, I meant to point that there was one more part of Ocasio-Cortez, her little plan there that she's helping to push. There's that tax system is not forever. Not forever. It was it's only as long as unemployment is higher than 6%. If unemployment in the state is higher than 6%, then the tax kicks in. Yeah. For God's sakes, they write stories about Trump shaking hands and ice cream and eating ice cream. The press is a joke. Oh, our press is just I don't even think joke is the right word for them anymore. They are lying shitbags. They are lying partisan shitbags who make no bones about it. They went after him for saying the Mile High thing. They went after him, burgers being stacked at Mile High guy, not him getting in the Mile High Club. I need to be careful on that. They went after him for saying that he was the chosen one. Donald Trump thinks he's the chosen one. Just yesterday, they took Kellyanne Conway's, or sorry, not Kellyanne Conway, Kayleigh McEnany, her comments completely out of context to tell people that science shouldn't get in their way, they said. Finish the quote, dickball. Finish the quote, dickball. But they never do. They never do. They're horrible people. They're bad, and you should be mistrusting of them. And there's another thing, as I was going back and reading the stories and stuff, Washington wasn't big on the press. Jefferson wasn't big on the press. Most of the founders weren't real big on the press. They would use it when they needed to, but the press was notorious for smearing them. I wonder how many times any of them used the term fake news. I'm just wondering. I think it's probably a few. Given the shit that was going around. The way that they would try to write salacious headlines. That salacious headline thing isn't anything new. It's just that they used to do it to everybody. And for some reason, if you go back even under Clinton, they might not have liked to have been telling the story, but they still told the story, you know? Unfortunately, we have to say penis on the air tonight. Please get your children out of the room before we say penis. In other news, Bill Clinton got his penis sucked. They would talk about it. With Obama, something happened with Obama, with our press, where, and I don't know if this was intentional. Part of it at least seems to be, given some of the coordination we saw between the Obama White House and the press, like literally coordination, actual, we have it on record, they coordinated stories with the White House. The White House told them what talking points to have. I don't know if it was all that or if it was, we've said if you would attack this man for anything, then you're racist and we don't want to be racist kind of thing. Or if it was just their partisan bullshit coming out for the first time in ways it really hadn't in my lifetime, at least. But some change with Obama. And then with Trump, oh dear Lord, Trump broke him. I think Jim Acosta should actually probably be in a mental institution right now. I don't think that man's stable. I think a lot of the writers for the Washington Post and the New York Times should probably be in mental institutions right now because they're not stable people. And this is just my opinion, so fuck off, you dickhole writers who have been caught lying over and over and over again. I don't think you're stable people. God, just once I would like them to go, oh, Monkey called us unstable. Do you know what kind of benefit that would have? It would be interesting to see an actual honest News Corps under either the last administration or this one. We'll never get it. I mean, the last administration's already gone, and this one they are violently opposed to. Just to the point where they will make up shit. They'll just make it up. Like they did with Kaylee today, or well, yesterday. She said that they don't need to have science. That's not what she said, dickhole. You know it. You know it. You retweeted the rest of it. You lying shitbag. You never put the rest of it in the as another tweet in the thread, though. And you did it on purpose because you know nobody's going to look at it. That one got all the attention. Way more than you get on most of your posts. Larry, thank you. Lanny. This is one of those times I need my glasses, guys. I haven't slept in a long time. Lanny Stanfield, thank you so much. To me, the mainstream media is like Wikipedia without the cited sources. They're more like the Onion. The shit is made up and you know it. It's just having to go. There's a kernel of truth. There's a kernel of truth. You just have to go find out what it is. Kaylee absolutely said the quote that they gave. They just didn't give the rest of the quote, which gave the context. So technically, they didn't lie. They didn't lie. But, you know, they still lied. They still manipulated. And they do that shit all the time. How many times do I go over stories like that? Almost nightly. Almost nightly, we've had a story of some press outlet. And big outlets. We're not talking, I have to go digging through some weird-ass Medium article to do this. NBC, CBS, ABC, MSNBC, CNN, even Fox. You know, that conservative bastion that would never, ever say anything bad about President Trump. Even they've done it. All of them. They're a bunch of lying shitheels. And yet people defend them all the time. They don't lie. Bitch, you want to see examples? I can take care of a whole bunch of those with one word. Covington. We all saw it. We all saw what they did there. And they absolutely lied. And that's just the easiest one to use. That's just the easiest to use. I mean, we can do it with several news outlets yesterday. CNN was, Jim Acosta was the one who tweeted it out that Kaylee McEnany, I don't know how to say her fucking name, said that they don't need science, or what is it? They don't need science on their side, or what was the exact quote that he used? I forget. It is something she said, but it's not the full context. The full context was that she was saying science was on their side. It took Jake fucking Tapper to point it out. Jake Tapper's the one who went, guys, we've got this wrong. You need to put the full quote there. He called out people on his show. They don't need science getting in their way. Is that what it was? I forget what it was. I could pull it up. I don't have my Twitter even open right now. I closed it when I sent the invite to Jack, and I've been too lazy to click it over there. I know. Isn't that, how lazy is that? Cut me some slack, man. I've been up for 20 hours on 4 hours of sleep. Stop judging me. Damn it. I don't come here to be judged. I come here to be loved. I come here to feed this monster inside me called my ego. Come here because I got too many thoughts in my head. The Savannah Guthrie Covington interview was painful. There was something aggressive about standing there. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, God. They were standing there with that. What was the, was it menacing smirk? Was that the term that was used? The menacing smirk? Or was it standing there menacingly? One of those two. I can't remember which one it was. I know menacingly was used. It's just like, really? They were standing there. They started to cheer along with the drum beat, but otherwise they didn't do anything. Literally. Most of them got out of his way so that he could walk up to where Nick was standing. Nick's just like, I ain't fucking moving. That was his crime. And they don't tell Lady Monkey about those thoughts in your head. Look, Lady Monkey knows all about my head. You're arguing with yourself again. We aren't judging you out loud. Hey, I've been judged out loud. How dare you? It's there. Scroll back. How dare you? Standing there menacingly is a SpongeBob quote. No, there was a menacingly one from, was it smirking menacingly? I can't remember. It came from the Covington thing. Yeah, it was absolutely asinine. And then right on the heels of that, we had Jussie Smollett, where you'd have to actually be retarded to believe his story. But, there was some Donald Trump inspired hatred right there, guys. And they'd just blown the Covington story where they tried to show you some Donald Trump inspired hate. And so Jussie comes up with his clothesline necktie and his sub sandwich. Do we ever find out what kind of sub sandwich he had? I'm very curious. Can you go order a Smollett? I'm just wondering. Yeah, the wind chill factor was like minus 20 that night. The actual temperature was minus 12. He went for a walk to get Subway at 2 o'clock in the morning, 2:30 in the morning, actually. He happens to run in to two MAGA hat Trump supporters who really hate blacks and gays, who also are really versed on the show Empire. A show about black people that has gays in it. I'm just like, none of this makes sense. None of it. Not a single word of it makes sense. They had they threw a bleach-like substance on him. They were carrying around a noose and bleach at 2:30 in the morning in Chicago, where it feels like it's minus 25 degrees outside, hoping to find a gay black guy and really hoping he was from TV. In Chicago. None of it made sense. But the news, man, they jumped right on it. They have been lying about Donald Trump since he announced his presidency. They actually started lying about him before that. But the biggest came when he announced his presidency. Like, he said Mexicans are all rapists and killers. No, he didn't. But it was amazing how that spread through the media. How every one of them said the same thing. None of them went, that ain't what I heard. I listened to it. Those are not, he said the words rapist and killer. And he said that they weren't sending their best. But he wasn't saying that they're all rapists and killers. That's retarded. They've been lying about him since. I keep seeing these things saying Donald Trump won't leave the White House. Donald Trump won't leave the White House. Even if he loses, he'll find a way to stay in the White House. I went back and I was looking up articles about how Donald Trump would never concede the election. Do you guys remember that shit? Donald Trump won't concede the election if he loses. And that was based on him saying, not if there was anything fishy that went on. He said, I'm not just going to blanketly say I'll accept the results. I'll accept the results if there's nothing fishy that happened. Donald Trump won't give it up. And remember, this is at the time when they thought Donald Trump had no chance in hell. Remember that? Oh, nuts. Thank you. I haven't been shilling. Did I shill myself on the other show? I have no fucking idea. Guys, I'm brought to you by you. Hit the like button, hit the share button. If you're enjoying what you're listening to, please consider donating or picking up a nice t-shirt or mug for yourself down there on the Monkey Store. I think there's stickers down there too. I want to get myself the one that says, shh, just let it happen, the little monkey face that has the little quote on it. I like that one. They've been lying about this man since the beginning. Shamelessly. And then the Washington Post has the nerve to count his lies, to count Donald Trump's lies. He's over 11,000 or whatever the fucking number is right now. We counted them. We counted them all. And if you look at him, it's like he'll say something like the lowest unemployment in history. And it's okay, it's not in history. It's the lowest unemployment in the last like 60 years. All right, you got him. He exaggerated a little bit. That's a lie. He fucking lied. By the way, the Covington kids killed that Indian. Thank you, Mikalo. Gestapo is trending. Thanks, PBS. Why is Gestapo trending? Was there a show on PBS about it? I want a sticker like that. It's not in the merch store. What? It was in the merch store. I'll have to check it. Maybe for some reason that one fell out. Yeah, it's just amazing watching how they respond to Trump. And then if you go back and you look at all of the stuff they ignored about Obama, all of the accusations of racism, if you disagreed with Obama on anything, nobody could possibly hate him. Nobody could possibly disagree with him. Nobody could possibly look at him and not see our Lord and Savior unless they were racist. Like, no, he said the same shit that white Democrat said, who I was allowed to dislike him saying it. No, you're racist now. Well, could you have the white guy say it so I can call him a dumbass? I mean, that's literally what they did, man. Literally what they did. Portland and protesters were getting grabbed overnight, claims of unmarked cars and unmarked agents. Yeah, I saw that. I don't know if that's true. From what I saw, the little bit that I watched, all of the agents were perfectly well marked. Maybe somebody's kidnapping them. I do know when the agents came out the other night, they had to. There was a shift change, and the agents came out in their fatigues and stuff. But when it was all over, they all got into their personal vehicles and left. Nobody got snatched up that night. Actually, I think they did grab one guy, but he went into an official vehicle. But the feds they are arriving certain times in their own vehicles. It's a federal building. It's where they work. And the sticker was found. Good to hear. Check out that sticker, guys. It's one of my favorites. I want to get that one and put it on my computer case. Actually, I want to get that one in. No, that would be vandalism, and I can't say that. Anyway, going back to Trump in the media and the difference between the way he's treated and the way Obama's treated. The first real scandal was Fast and Furious. It was, I believe it was. And you have all of these Democrats who are like, oh, Donald Trump will not let his people answer questions. Do you know what happened when Eric Holder went up in front of Congress and was asked about Fast and Furious? How many of you guys know the story? He absolutely refused. I'm not answering that. I'm not giving you that information. I don't have to give you that information. The Democrats didn't get mad about that. The press didn't throw a fit about that. They were just like, oh, well, he's not going to answer questions. I guess there's nothing to see here. The IRS scandal. The fucking IRS scandal. Obama using the IRS against his political enemies. And the press is just like, okay. It came to light when Lois Lerner planted a question with a reporter. The reporter didn't know what was going on. She told the reporter to ask about it. So she gets up there, Lois Lerner gets up there to give her little speech, and she starts taking questions, and this lady pipes up and asks the question. She's like, yeah, by the way, we've been targeting conservatives. Don't worry about it. Just one dude in Cincinnati. No big deal. But if you look into it, it was actually a systemic thing that was going on. You want to use your systemic? There you go. Systemic. There was a systemic thing going on, and the press was like, Nobody cares. No big deal. He's just using government. Do you understand what the IRS can do to people? Seize everything you own and toss your ass in jail for life. They can fuck with you in ways that are ridiculous. And Obama used them for personal reasons, for political reasons, personal political reasons. And everybody's like, that's no big deal. If you question that, you're racist. Now, when it gets to killing that American, what the fuck was his name? The little jihadi American. At least in that, I can understand why people would be like, well, he wasn't really an American anymore. He was fighting against us. He still had American citizenship, and this wasn't a field of battle. We sent a drone in to blow his ass up. Personally, that should never happen, but at least I can understand where people can go, oh, no, I disagree with you there. At least I understand that, you know, because he was a foreign combatant at that point, but still nothing. There's like, oh, no. Obama's administration monitoring that reporter's computer, the way they treated Assange, the way they treated the press in general, if they were in any way negative towards him. Kingslayer Damocles, thank you. Arresting, kidnapping, is there really a difference? One's legal, or at least, you know, has legal backing. That's the only difference, my friend. If you look at it in a certain way. See, what else do we have from the Obamas? The scandal-free Obama administration. There was one I was just thinking of, and I lost it because I was talking about the American jihadi guy. Iran. Pallets of cash. No, man, actually, that was really their money. We were just giving it back. And we gave them pallets of cash for them to sign off on this deal for them not to go nuke. And it's not even a deal that they won't go nuke. It's just that they won't do it for 15 years. We dropped off a pallet of cash in the middle of the night to the Iranians for a promise that they won't try to get nuclear bombs for 15 years. And the press was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's a good deal. Like, sticker ordered. Thank you for ordering. I appreciate it. If you look at what Obama did, the trading of Bergdahl for 5 terrorists, even that one, where as somebody who loves the military and you never leave a man behind, this isn't a man who was left behind. This is a man who deserted. And okay, if you're going to bring him home, prosecute the ever-loving fuck out of him for it. And for fuck's sake, don't give them 5 terrorist leaders in exchange for 1 fucking deserter. What, did we not have a pallet of cash ready? You have all of this shit that Obama did and got nothing, absolutely nothing from the press. Nothing. Oh yeah, the persecution of Dinesh. And then that doesn't even get into the stuff that we only found out about after he left office, when Trump was able to get Barr in there and they start actually looking at what happened in this Russia investigation, at the tapping of Carter Page's phone. What was it, 3 FISA warrants? And they were all garbage? All garbage. There was actually forgeries presented to the court that were written up by an FBI man. Did that guy go to prison? Has he been charged with anything yet? Obama clearly sucks at bartering. He's bad at it, man. I'd like to play fucking Monopoly with him. I'd kick his ass. I bet I could beat him on the first go round. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Press can't attack a neo-lib black man. They could. That's the, I've often said that Obama was the worst thing that's happened for race relations in my lifetime, easily in my lifetime. All of the other shit, the PC garbage, the it's okay to hate white people now and to be openly racist. All of it pales in comparison to what happened just from Barack Obama being elected. As soon as he was elected, we were not allowed to criticize him. Actually, even before he was elected. Do you guys remember when they accused Bill Clinton of being racist? Bill fucking Clinton of being racist? The guy black people used to call the first black president? Yeah, they accused him of being racist because he questioned Obama. Obama should have come out and went, no, you treat me like any other man. If you have a question about what I did, you ask that question. If you don't like what I say, that's fine. We can argue on the merits. But instead, he's like, yeah, it's probably racist. Obamacare, his signature thing, that bullshit that he pushed through, that he made some really, there's the first one if you really want to go to that. Go back and look at the deals that were made. The deals that were made to get Obamacare pushed through. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. And questioning Obamacare. How dare you, you're racist. Like, no, we all hated it when Hillary did it. We all laughed when Mitt Romney did it. We didn't like when the honkies did it either. Like, no, you're just racist. You just don't like the black men. Do you remember the Congress people walking up to Congress and somebody yelled an N-word? But with all the video footage out there, nobody caught it. Not one goddamn person with their cameras pulled out recording this caught it on tape. Not one. Breitbart, what was he offering? Was it $100,000, $50,000? I forget how much he was offering. He was offering a shit ton of money for anybody who could prove that was actually said. Anybody who had video evidence of that being said. Nobody could. If that reward is still out there. I don't know if they finally closed it down, but it was never collected because nobody heard it. Oh, but it got played up, didn't it? It got played up hardcore. Yeah. The truth doesn't matter. The story does. Truth doesn't matter. The story does. That's why the rise of social media, for all of its faults, is actually a good thing. Conservatives need to learn how to use it. And unfortunately, we have to use it in a way liberals don't. We have to be far more, so what I'm looking for here, pussyfooted about how we say things. But the only way to fight these guys is to actually have some kind of voice. And if you go over to like BitChute, what's the biggest channel on BitChute? Is anybody even over 100,000 yet? You go over to Gab, how many people are actually following the top person? And even on those sites, again, you're preaching to the choir. People don't. The only reason liberals go over there is to confirm that you're racist. So you're in a bubble. And it takes being on a diplomatic, atheist icon. That's probably a better word. But anyway, you got to be on a platform where you have a chance of being heard. Doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be listened to, but unfortunately, Fox News sure as fuck ain't doing their job of calling all this shit out for them being the president's news network. AON is trying, but they've already just been labeled the alt-right news network. I've never watched AON, so I don't know, but I've seen it actually called that. It's just an alt-right news site. So it's already, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We got no voice, man. No voice. I have a really bad feeling that Biden's going to win this thing. And if Biden wins this thing, the Senate goes to the Democrats, and then we're in real trouble. Then you have to hope that that the Senate doesn't cave. because they can push through some things, and there's always the nuclear option where they can just make everything a 50 or 51% or 50 plus one vote, 50% plus one. Dear God, I'm going to say that phrase if it kills me. 50% plus one to pass anything. And with the stuff that some of these shitbags are wanting passed and that the press is pushing, we're going to go downhill real quick. Real quick. Pink House says, I think Minds banned Omegon with no notice. I forgot Minds was a thing. Jesus. Boogaloo. No, that I don't think that's coming. I think I don't think most people are willing to go that far. I'm not sure oh God, there just needs to be a pushback, and it needs to be, unfortunately, not just diplomatic, but sanitized. It's got to be sanitized. It's got to be without any kind of jokes in it. You can't say fuck. It's got to be something that they can't find anything other than the argument to talk about. And then you know what they'll do? They'll just go, that's just a right-wing talking point. Did you guys see when the Democrats were accusing each other of using right-wing talking points? That's just a right-wing talking point. Jesus fuck, man. How far we've come. I remember it was only a decade or more, or maybe a little bit more, where liberals were complaining that being called a liberal, it's a slur. They don't have that same thing on the other side. And now they do. That's a right-wing talking point. You're just right-wing. Which obviously means you're stupid and racist and probably have sex with your sister. I hate these people. I hate these arguments by the Democrats when wanting justice. Which arguments? All of them? Because I'd probably be with you on that. If you believe the Dems take control and that's the outcome, you should really vote Trump. You think my one vote's going to change things? How many states have ever been won by one vote? Right now, I think Biden will win. If that could change. Trump has a new campaign manager, and maybe this one will actually know how to do things and been what's the word I'm looking for? A little more control over how they use the campaign. Have you heard of Black Hammer? Perfect example of tankies eating each other. No, I haven't. I did see tonight the very little bit of the protest I watched. The protesters were fighting with each other. Something to do with them throwing these little eggs of confetti at the officers, and somebody's like, stop throwing those. And he's like, I can throw them if I want. And they got into a little fight there, and you hear this woman yell, we're supposed to be fighting the police, not each other. Like, oh my God. I do like watching them eat themselves. Arresting one criminal doesn't solve crime, but everyone helps. I feel like that's a bad comparison. Yeah. That doesn't solve crime, but it solved that crime. Now, if you're trying to say that it's a personal matter to me that I should vote that way, then it would fit. They thought he was Andy No. Oh, the Asian guy. I saw that one. Yeah. This Asian guy just walking down the street, and this one, what'd they say? Go home, Andy. He's like, the fuck are you talking about? And she goes, are you Andy No? You dumb bitch. You dumb bitch. But yeah, Andy's the persona non grata at all of those things, man. You see an Asian, they're going to kick his ass because he's got a mask on. He's not sure if it's Andy or not. One vote, no, but when millions of people have the same attitude as you. If you want Trump to be president, I absolutely encourage you to vote. If you believe Trump should be president, this is not the one to set out. Because At the very least, it's going to be close. The numbers he's holding right now, guys. And again, I know we don't have to trust the polls. You can believe Trump's internal polls. I know Razor Fist doesn't believe this. He doesn't believe the polls out there right now. Even not believing the polls, even thinking the polls are skewed, even if you think they're asking way more Democrats than they ask Republicans or independents, the numbers that are out there, 58-38 was one of them. The Quinnipiac, I can never say that word. That poll from just the other day, what was it? 53-38, something like that. Yeah, these numbers are bad. They're bad. Especially for this part of, he wasn't trailing Clinton like this really ever on any poll that anyone took seriously. I don't know of a candidate who's ever trailed like this and come back from it. Again, polls can be skewed. We know that. But if you want Trump to be elected, definitely vote for him. I will use my voice to encourage as many people as I can not to vote Biden. You'll never argue me out of my vote. I vote how I vote. God, I wish I was tired. Let's see, we're 146. Let's say we do a game stream. I haven't done one of those today. I'll be up for a couple more hours easily. God, if I make it to 12 o'clock, I'm going to be pissed off. I'm just getting mad. I'll be shouting at the clouds going, what the fuck? I should be so tired right now. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming by. Thanks for listening to me again. Thanks for forgetting my voice for how it sounds. Thank you so very much for the donations. 9 o'clock, Scribe Lights channel, Lords of the Night. Game stream coming up within probably the next 20 minutes. Going to play some 7 Days to Die. Hopefully we don't go 4 hours this time. I don't remember what we were doing. I know we got to collect a lot of resources. We'll probably do questing tonight because I got a lot of questing I can do. So we'll do some questing and maybe some mining, and yeah, we'll see what happens. So come hang out over on Ranting Monkey Games. The link is below. And like I said, it'll be about 20 minutes. You can also just watch on Twitter to see when it starts. Don't forget, links are down below for my Twitter, my Patreon, my go get yourself that nice just let it happen monkey sticker, shirt, or mug. Right, nuts, mug. Yeah. Come hang out over on Ranting Monkey Games. See you there in a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. I don't know what to sing right now.